and welcome. My name is Christopher Welch. I'm a software engineer here at Flowable. And in this video, we will dive deeper into the ABBYY integration in Flowable, and we will process multiple documents in one transaction and handle the result of this ABBYY transaction in Flowable. If you are totally new to this topic, ABBYY, integration of ABBYY into Flowable, I recommend watching our first video about this topic. In this video, I'll explain how you can configure the connection between ABBYY and Flowable, how you can use the ABBYY integration in Flowable design, and how it looks like for the end user in Flowable work. So without further ado, let's get started with this part. In order to process multiple documents in one transaction, we need to make three big changes. Or two big changes and one minor change. First off, we need to check our attachment field, and we need to make sure that this attachment field supports multiple attachments. In our case, we have no value set for the maximum attachments, so we are fine. The ABBYY service task is by default able to process multiple documents. The input documents are the variable document, and this one is filled by the attachment field. The attachment fields on default store everything as an array. So the input of the ABBYY service tasks is always an array if you're using the attachment field, and by definition supports multiple documents. The skill ID, that's a process which is important for ABBYY, so we are fine with this. And our output mapping, the extracted data, is by default an array. In our first video, this array only had one entry, so we are fine with that. But now we will have two entries. So we don't care here because everything will be handled afterwards. The first big change that we need to do is for our review claim. Currently, we are using the ABBYY single result form. As you can see on the name, single, this one is meant to display the information of one claim. We have our claim classification, and we have our show extracted data form that we are using in a subform. Let's open it. So we have the structure based off our document. And we have a couple of details about the account. We have the transactions that are disputed and the reason for the dispute. And we need to allow this form to display multiple claims at once. I already did this, and I created a form for the ABBYY result form. Let's open it. And this form uses the new master detail component. And the master detail component got released with the 3.16 release and is used to display a collection of elements. The elements on the left side here, or will be displayed on the left side in the list, and on the right side you can configure a form or whatever you want. I created a radio button group for the claim review. This one holds the approved or declined status. I created also a radio button group, or used the same radio button group we had in the other form, in the single result form, for the claim classification. And again, I'm using the show extracted data form in a subform. For this master detail component, I configured the extracted data to be used as the items. And I also provided the format for the ID as item.fields.card number. So card number should be unique, that's fine. And for the title, we are using the surname and the given name. And for the description, we will use the surname, the given name, and the card number. So let's finish this, go here. We have the new form, great. One minor change. This one is of course now the review claims task. And we are done with this user task. What we want to change now is this part of our process. This whole part needs to be able to process process an array of documents. And we can achieve this with a multi-instance call activity. And that's what we are going to do. So get rid of everything. Use a call activity and let's call it process claims, and let's connect it to the end event like this. So we need to add a process. I already prepared this one. That's the handle claims process. As you can see, this process it's the same things we just deleted. We have our exclusive gateway regarding the approved or declined. We have our 3 different types of dispute that are registered and handled within this subprocess. The only thing now that's left now is to enable the multi-instance. In order to do this, we just activate the parallel multi-instance. Collection will be the extracted data. And now it gets important. We need to define an element variable. This is the variable that we can use. And this variable we can inject into our process. It's a claim. So let's go here, add the claim source variable, the claim that we just created with the multi-instance, and target is also claim. What we could do we could also inject each value, classification, the name, the card number. We could inject everything separately with a huge list of inputs into our process, or we just wrap everything with a claim. We already have the claim variable because of our multi-instance loop, so why not just use it? Finish. There's this. Also in our process, the change I already did. Example here, instead of just using the classification, approved or decline, we use the claim.classification. And we did this change for everything in our process, for all the important parts of our process. So let's close this, let's publish. And let's go to Flowable work, create a new dispute process, select 2 documents, and submit. And let's wait. Let's see. Oh, ABBYY is not finished yet. As soon as ABBYY is finished, we get our ABBYY, our manual review task. Also, there was no change required for our manual review form because the processing or the display of multiple documents for our transaction, this is now done by ABBYY. So we have our transaction dispute by Bert and our transaction dispute that I created. And we are fine with everything, so let's complete it. Good. So let's wait again until ABBYY is done processing. So you see, now ABBYY is done. We can review our claims, and we have 2 claims here, my claim and Bert's claim, with all the information, all the data that got extracted. Good. So let's approve my claim and let's approve Bert's claim. and complete this task. As you can see in the sub items of our process, the process is finished, it's done, and we have 2 list items of our handle claim process. So this process got executed twice, and that's basically it. That's one way to integrate it. If you want, you can handle the actual review within the sub-process. So what we can do in our process, let's go here. We can add a user task called review claim. Let's finish. This one will use a form, the ABBYY single result form. The ABBYY single result form also provides our 2 outcomes. So we are fine here. This one is fine. What we need to set is the initiator. What we need to set now is the initiator, and we will use the root.initiator, a review claim or form. Yeah, we are fine. And in our main process, we don't need this review claims anymore. We can just delete it. We have our review claim process that handles everything. So let's do it like this and publish. Now let's get started again. Multiple, submit both documents, and let's wait a bit. ABBYY is done. We are again in our menu review phase. So let's complete this and let's wait a bit. And ABBYY is finished processing, and our process got executed 2 times. As you can see in our open tasks, we have now 2 tasks. We can approve and decline both. So let's approve this one and approve this one. And our process is finished. That's it. These are the main 2 ways, or these are 2 ways you can integrate ABBYY. Of course, you can use other ways like a table to process or to handle multiple documents in one transaction. These are the 2 ways I just wanted to show you. And with that, we are done for today, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.